KDO fam, Salma Adam is my name. Welcome to the 360 Experience.
The 360 Experience.
So Prosper, tell us who you are.
Hey guys, my name is Prosper Michael. I'm a graduate of the KNUST Debate Society. I'm actually a graduate of KNUST, but I almost always say graduate of the KNUST Debate Society because I spent the bulk of my time debating as opposed to following my studies. As you can see, I am a very socially awkward person. Don't let anyone lie to you. I'm actually very socially awkward. I enjoy a lot of stuff, but paramount amongst them is debate. What comes second is Manchester United. I currently discovered another team that can take the heat off of my chest whenever Manchester United is misbehaving. It's called Wrexham FC. Yay! I think you should go follow them. Yeah, I like movies, but specifically sitcoms. I don't really fancy action movies. I really like psychological thrillers. Yeah, I'm a nerd.
So we have some questions for you. You have to pick from 1 to 11.
What's my lucky number?
Yeah.
1. 1.
The 360 Experience.
If you could debate any historical figure, who would it be and why?
That's a tough one. I have two people in mind. There's Kwame Nkrumah and there's Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King is very, very rhetorical. I like the way he speaks. He can really rile up a crowd. But I would prefer Kwame Nkrumah because he equally is rhetorical, but I've read a lot about him, and I know he was into debating when he was in the university, and I know that he equally has a way of convincing individuals in a manner that originally would not be something that people would be able to do. So he was a very interesting fellow. So I'd say Kwame Nkrumah.
That's interesting. What's the most memorable or humorous moment you've had during a debate?
That's quite difficult. I think I'm a very intense guy, so I don't really have a lot of humorous moments. But if there's a humorous moment, I'd have to say last year KDO, there was a motion and the word was a tongue twister. I think it was something of, I don't remember the exact word, but I remember my partner kept fumbling with the word. I think it was Hinduism or so, and he kept saying Shintoism or something of the sort. It was very, very funny. Everybody in the room was laughing, but he didn't really get what was going on. He probably thought he was rallying up the crowd, and he kept saying it, and everyone kept laughing. We later pointed it out to him though, so it was all good.
That's very funny. What's the toughest debate topic you've encountered so far, and how did you approach it?
Injects a bit of narcissism. I don't think there's any debate topic that I've encountered that's like super tough. But I think one that always poses a little bit of confusion. They typically fall within the frameworks of economic motions and finance motions. I don't think it's tough for me to debate them. The problem I typically encounter are twofold. One, being able to communicate the ideas I have in the simplest and most palatable manner that any ordinary person can understand. That is a little difficult because economics and finance, they are very specific and they require a certain level of expertise. So being able to simplify them sometimes comes as a difficulty. But secondly, if you find yourself in an environment where everyone within that same space equally does not understand what you are saying, or they do not have full control over whatever economic idea you are trying to debate about, they sometimes fabricate things. And given that the average intelligent voter does not also understand what they are saying, if they can communicate more effectively than you do, it doesn't matter if you are saying the truth, it just becomes like the law. I don't think it's unique to debate. It even happens in politics. I don't want to take a slight at any politician right now, but it happens in politics a lot. So I try to avoid economics and finance discussions because they are very, very nifty.
That's very good to know. So, if you could switch roles with a judge for a day, what advice would you give the debaters?
Now that's a tough one. So, I spend a lot of time judging actually. So I think I could I could easily enter into the mind of a judge, I guess. If I could give debaters a piece of advice, I'd say you should make sure that you are not just speaking what you think is right, but you are equally communicating. I think people always miss out on the fact that the most important thing in debating is persuasion. You might be the most reasonable or sensible person in the room, but it does not mean you are the most persuasive person in the room. I think the ability to make your arguments compelling and persuade whichever person is on the panel is a very fundamental thing that every single debater should make sure that they do correctly and make sure that they have. Because even beyond debate, when you enter into the real world, it's something that you need to perfect, because we all need to learn how to persuade individuals. If you don't have that, then why are you debating?
That's very insightful. What's the most unexpected argument or strategy you've seen an opponent use?
Unexpected. Okay, so this is a very fun story of mine, because it's a very close friend of mine who did this. It was in 2020, I think. I was in opening government, and a friend of mine, Raphael Arthur, my best friend actually, was in closing government. And we were debating against some very, very good debaters. They were pros actually, and they were our trainers. The debate was about creating a sense of community. And it was about the philosophy of Ubuntu. And we got very confused, given that the pros dumped a lot of deep philosophy into the conversation, and we were very lost. And Ralph came, and this was how he engaged the debate. He said, Ubuntu basically means I am because you are. So if I am because you are, then we are, and you are, and we all are. And he just jumbled off a bunch of nonsense, complete nonsense, and went on like that for 7 minutes. I don't know how he sustained it. We were all round up and we were all laughing. I think it's probably my most memorable experience, because it made me realize how fun of an individual my good friend is, and it equally made me realize that, like, sometimes it's not that deep. You just have to have fun. It's a debate tournament. It's not life or death.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, this is a very interesting one. Have you ever experienced stage fright or nervousness before a debate, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah. I actually have experienced stage fright before, very recently actually. In January, I happened to be part of the contingent to represent KNUST at the World University Debate Championship. I debated, as at that time, it had been 4 years. I'd spent time debating, so it's intuitive to assume that I won't be scared or I'll be very comfortable. Shockingly though, when we made it to the finals, I was very, very scared. And unlike the African tournaments I'm used to, they really don't baby you in European tournaments. So there was no bus to take us to the finals venue. There was nothing done to particularly usher you to that place. They just told us the place, and they told you can use the metro, you can use the road, you can order an Uber. I really didn't know how to go about it. We took a train, myself and my partner, and we got lost. We kept walking around, and it was Spain, so we didn't understand how to communicate with people. So it was a whole mess, because you go and speak to someone and they will tell you, no hablo anglais, no hablo anglais. So we're very tense, because we had a finals. This is like the first time an African team is making it to finals. It was a big thing for us. We wanted to impress, but we're still lost in the middle of Spain, in the middle of Madrid. We eventually found our way to the venue, but like around that time we're a little sweaty, and I had missed my public speaking finals, and I knew that it was all do or die for the ESL finals. Eventually, I called a couple of people. I remember speaking to Webster Morrison in South Africa, Nolutando, and I called Nanama the night before, Nanama Boss Hamilton. All these individuals spoke like very nicely to me. They helped me calm my nerves. They made me feel comfortable. And I just realized the sense of community that I had, which I originally was oblivious of. All these individuals were rooting for me, even though they were not there with me. And with that, I knew that like I wasn't only one person on that stage. I was 1,000 voices in one individual. And that was very empowering for me.
That's very, very inspiring. Now, what's the strangest or most unusual topic you've had to debate?
Strangest topic. Yes. I once had to debate about antinatalism. Antinatalism is a philosophy that purports that giving birth is illegitimate, because we are see a fucking. Can I use the F word? Like, life is bad, so we shouldn't give birth to people to come and suffer in this world. It was very weird because I had to argue why nobody deserves to be born, which is very, very odd. Because if my parents thought like that, I don't know how I'll be here. But I mean, it's weird because I also have to debate abortion at some point, but luckily my mother wanted to have me, so she never thought of abortion.
Wow. Now, if you could create a debate topic based on a fictional scenario, what would it be?
If I could create a debate topic based on a fictional scenario, I really think one of the greatest movies ever written or ever made is The Matrix. I think it's super, super, super philosophical. If I could create a debate topic, it's going to be one that puts debaters in a position where the lead character, Neo, was in, where he had to choose between the red pill and the blue pill. I think it's going to be a very, very fun debate to see how people are going to engage the idea of either joining a rebellion against the system, which you do not even fully know of, or remaining in oblivion, not really realizing what's going on around you and still chilling in life. Because I think it's a very, very dicey decision you have to make. And I don't think everybody's going to opt for, I'll take the red pill and go and fight with people. And I don't think everyone's going to do that. So I'd like to hear their thoughts about it.
Red pill or blue pill? That's very fun. A fun debate topic. Now, what's the most valuable lesson you've learned from participating in debates?
Valuable lesson, valuable lesson. People change. People change. That's the most valuable lesson I've learned. And more often than not, they change for the better and not for the worse. I think when I started debating, I was very stuck up. In the intro, I told you how much of a nerd I am. So I was very to myself, rarely interacted with individuals. I don't think I even had friends within my debate society, much less outside of my debate society. And I equally didn't see the value of making friends outside of my debate society or within it, because I always figured I have a hold over things and I have a sense of direction that I could always determine on my own. But moving forward, I came to realize that there's a wealth of experience I'm missing out on by always choosing to stay in my room during socials, by always choosing to be stuck up after a debate and not interact with people. I think learning to interact with more individuals not only builds my social capital and my wealth of friends, it equally gave me the opportunity to improve as an individual. There are a number of things I would have done which I would not do any longer, because I know how people react differently to those things and the backgrounds that people come from. And just like you told me, there are different ways people engage with Muslim women. I probably wouldn't have known that until I spoke to you today. And I think like it's generally the biggest take home I've gotten from debates. People change, so give them a chance to.
Yeah, people change, so give them a chance to. If you could have a debate in any unique or unconventional location, where would it be and why?
I think I might go to hell if indeed heaven and hell exists. If I am at that point and I am told to go to hell, I would love to be given an opportunity to debate my way out of it. I think it's going to be really fun debating against the devil and discussing why I deserve not to go to hell and suffer. I think it's going to be super exciting. I also think that a lot of people would want to watch me do that because they know I'll win. So yeah, I think that's going to be the most unconventional setting I would want to find myself in debating. Although I think it's like very scary, but it's going to be fun regardless. So yeah.
Prosper, at this juncture, can we have final words and anything interesting you want to tell us?
Anything interesting? I write, send me gigs. Yeah, so I'm a freelance writer, so yeah, send me gigs. But beyond that, I'm super excited to be here. I think KDO has been one of the most interesting and open tournaments you'd find yourself in. So I'm super excited to be here. I look forward to winning the trophy. You would probably come back to comment under this video that, yes, he did win the trophy. And I equally look forward to interacting with people, making friends, and catching up with a couple of old friends. I haven't seen Pinkra in a while. He's chopping money, so he's gotten fast. So it's nice to see him, and I'm glad I'm going to see a lot of other people. So adios.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prosper. We are glad to have you and we hope you win the trophy.
Most definitely.
The 360 experience.